Yeah, welcome back again. And again, a warm welcome to the speaker and uh, the um, chairperson as well. So let me just introduce you the chairperson, and then probably he'll take us through the session. So today we have Mr. Shubhamay Chakraborty from ABP. So he's the head of IT in ABP, and his interest is always inclined towards the digital transformation and product engineering. Before joining ABP, he consulted about a few other companies as well. He consulted Fortune 100 as well as the 50 funded companies in business transformation journeys, and also he consulted key companies across the globe. He's a senior member of IEEE, and he's an invited speaker on various industry forums and academic institutions, where he was awarded for his contribution to the IT industry. So he completed his BE from Jadavpur University, and MTech in computer science and from Indian Statistical Institute, and attended executive education from Harvard Business School. So with that, please, Mr. Subham Rai, please lead us this session.
Sure, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the session 3 of Vanipra India 2020 Printing Summit. The topic today is digital transformation and the role of CTO. So let me first take the honor of introducing the speaker, Mr. Suresh Vijayaraghavan. He is a Vice President Digital Transformation in the Hindu Group Publishing Private Limited, based out of India. Mr. Vijayaraghavan is an engineering graduate in Electronics and Communication with MBA in IT Management from University of Leicester, UK. He has over 3 decades of global experience in cross-functional arenas, including strategic planning, IT project management, system design and implementation, IT infrastructure setup and management, IT portfolio management, and IT governance in cross-cultural global environments. Mr. Vijayaraghavan is a technocrat with expertise in leading and managing projects on systems design, development, and implementation. He is adept in multiple unit, IT infrastructure setup and management in both global and local environments. He holds the distinction of successfully completing several strategic important projects, both in IT infrastructure and enterprise application space, that has helped business leverage IT capabilities. So welcome, Mr. Vijayaraghavan.
Thank you, Mr. Subhamay, for the nice introduction.
So today's topic is digital transformation and the role of CTO. Let me share my opening comments briefly. Digital transformation has different connotation to different industries and departments. And what is a better time than today to discuss this topic, as the pandemic situation is significantly accelerating the shift to digital in most of our organizations. Digital transformation is majorly clubbed into 2 areas, for the employees and for the customers. That's internal facing or external facing. Now, as per a Gartner survey, which was done a year back or so, 44% of the CTOs focus only on the external transformation. And 19% of the CTOs focus only on the internal transformation. So the rest 37%, they look at both the worlds. So in that context, it's very critical that the IT leader, so be it CIO, CTO, he or she takes an active input from the senior leadership to define what digital transformation means in the context of the organization to make it a successful one. Also, many argue that digital transformation is not about technology, it's about the people. So hence, to achieve this transformation, it requires a digital ecosystem in the organization. And I'm sure we'll hear more about this from the speaker. Now, interesting, the role of IT has changed a lot over the last few years. It's now assumed that the IT leader should play at least 4 personas. So number 1, she should definitely play the role of Chief Operating Officer of IT, looking at the daily operations. Number 2, she should be a business enabler, helping business solve their problems through automation. Number 3, she needs to be a technology innovator, bringing new technology into play. And number 4, obviously, she also needs to be digital business leader. So it's very important to strike the right balance between these 4 personas to successfully drive the digital transformation journey in an organization. And here, CEOs are playing a major role in expanding the role definition of the IT leaders. The CEO and the IT leader need to work very closely in exploring new horizons through digital transformation. So with that as a starting context, let me hand it over to Mr. Suresh Vijayaraghavan to share his views. Over to you, Mr. Vijayaraghavan.
Thank you, Mr. Subhamay, and very good morning to all the participants. Let me share my screen. my screen visible?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. I think this slide actually what I wanted to tell, Mr. Subramaya actually very neatly explained that part. So with that background, I'll proceed with my next presentation. I think many of you can recollect the use of film cameras. Probably it was best till about the year 2000s, right? The advent of digital camera is often seen as the main reason for the death of the film cameras and the industry itself. However, if you look deep into it, we can realize that the entry of mobile phones with cameras, better network connectivity that we got with 3G, 4G, and the mobile application ecosystem that came with iPhones and Android phones, and the social network platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp have all contributed the way we create and consume photos. This is actually digital disruption. You see, the change that changes fundamentally our expectations, behavior, and in the end, it has a cultural impact as well. The fundamental desire to capture a moment in our life and share with others and revisit it in the future as a memory has not changed, right? But how we do it, how we did it, or how our children and grandchildren are going to do has completely changed. Today, a photo or video can be taken in a mobile camera, mobile phone, edited with the tools that is there in the phone, and immediately shared with so many people, friends and relatives in Facebook, WhatsApp. You can store it in Google Drive, you can store it in OneDrive, and everything can happen in a very short span of time. So this is the emergence of this digital ecosystem that has changed our photo experience itself, though the requirement to take a photo has not changed, right? So this digital ecosystem has changed your photo experience. It is actually reshaping the industries, and more so in publishing, it has a very major effect. First, understanding the evolving digital ecosystem and its impact to our business is critical for initiating a digital transformation program. In this strategic gameplay, the organization that has the best ecosystem will win. An important element of digital transformation, of course, is technology. Though IT will play an important role in driving this transformation, the actual work that is to be done in transformation is to be done by everybody. That means it's also a people and cultural issue. Okay. Understanding our industry and the ones that are adjacent to us is very critical. And how the ecosystem of these adjacent industries are evolving is also very critical. We must also be aware of what channels we have through which we communicate with our customers and how those channels are undergoing their own transformation and what is the impact of that on us as well as on our customers. All this has to be considered if someone is embarking on a digital transformation program. With this background, let's look at what is the role of the CTO in this game plan itself. Rather than focusing on cost savings, IT has become a primary driver for business innovation, and the key role of the CTO is to align business and IT. Okay. In digital transformation, success also means IT capabilities are exploited on a continuous basis. For that, the connection between the business priorities and the required IT capabilities has to be recognized, and such capabilities acquired, and that must be continuously evolved so that the business agility can be supported. Information technology must be used to enable or enhance critical success factors for the organization or the core competencies that make it unique within the competitive environment. So it is today when Mr. Subramaya introduced that the CTO is also becoming like a chief operating officer today, is because that apart from chosen business strategies, IT should actually move to help shape new business strategies. That is how the transformation landscape is evolving. S-curve explains the common evolution of successful new technology or product. At first, early adopters provide a momentum behind an uptake, and the steep ascent follows the growth phase. And lots of people come in and start adopting this technology. Finally, the curve levels off sharply as the adoption approaches the saturation point. At this phase, another innovation occurs and a new S-curve pattern will start. Since the previous product industry reaches the era of maturity, there's an opportunity for a new product to come, a new innovation to come in that appeal to new segment of users, segment of innovators, and a new product life cycle will start. But what is very important for a CTO is look ahead into this phenomenon in relation to its industry and happenings in the industry and prepare the organization to execute the repeated climbs. It's very critical that the organization does not want to face the shock of digital disruption that they did not foresee coming. That's very important. The CTO has to be always seeing ahead of the S-curve to bring the organization at par and to ensure that the organization does not face this digital disruption shock. I think all of you remember the BlackBerry. Once upon a time, it was a very, very a prestigious thing to carry a BlackBerry, right? In 2010, they had a 43% market share and it dwindled to 4% in the year 2013. On the contrary, the success of iPhone was basically because they created a rich mobile platform across the phone itself. That means we had an ecosystem that had its own applications, tools, and other things that made up the iPhone as a platform rather than a single tool. So that ecosystem is very key for the success of the iPhone itself. So in digital transformation, one of the key role of the CTO is to unify organizational silos. It's about looking at the organization itself as an integrated digital system. It's also about integrating all the tools and technologies to increase business performance, fuel growth, and deliver value to the customer through increased flow of data and shared insights. So this is one key role that the CTO has to ensure, that he does not allow organizations to automate on silos, but convert them into an integrated digital system. So this integrated digital system is nothing but a digital core, which focuses on the customer journey and engagement, products and services ecosystem, and the operational system, which is nothing but people, organization, process, information, technology that is used to deliver your products and services to the customers. So this digital core is built on transformation technology that's founded in interoperable data models and processes. And it's focused on delivering not only the highest value to the customers, it's also highest level of personalization, especially in our industry. Personalization is very important. And strategy that is based on data and which is secure, and also data privacy is ensured. So this envisioning this digital core is a very key responsibility of the CTO. And this is where the CTO has to work very closely with the business leaders and understand how the digital ecosystem itself is evolving. So this digital core should actually result in the core competencies of digital leadership. These core competencies are the ability to have very deep customer insights, and the ability to have a technology insight that can see across upcoming S-curves, a continuous innovation culture, and a culture that is founded in digital, and everything is based on data enablement. That means the decision making is grounded in information and insight that's coming from real-time data. So these are all the core competencies of a digital leadership. And to get these core competencies, a transformation system strategy has to be envisaged. And this strategy is actually grounded in architecture, which is there on the screen. As we know that we have at the very base IT infrastructure where integration and standardization is the key. The focus is primarily on flexibility and cost reduction. And on top of that infrastructure, we run a traditional transactional system, which is primarily focused in accelerating your day-to-day processing and optimizing the resources that we used. But we need to move one level higher, where we have to split and see this as, on the left, you see the traditional information, what we used to call as MIS, which is used for control, for integration and quality, and to a certain extent analytics. But that has to move from a standalone system to an integrated system, which is agile and led by customer value, which is strategic, and that looks at using artificial intelligence for predictive and prescriptive analysis, and that is, it's always in the customer engagement mode. So this transformation system strategy is also a responsibility of the CTO to make sure that this is embedded in the IT strategy, and that results in an IT architecture hierarchy, which is basically that you have at the very bottom, you have, it's an enterprise architecture which is founded in a technology architecture at the base, and on which the application architecture that spans all the organizational internal boundaries, as well as it integrates with the external ecosystem, and share data definitions within organization as well as across the ecosystem with all your partners in the industry itself, and the business process architecture, which actually is that delivers the product and services to the customers itself. In this enterprise architecture and making sure this enterprise architecture is integrated with the digital ecosystem in the industry that we participate, and constantly improving this to keep this ahead of the S-curve is a critical role of the CTO. With this, what happens is the CTO is actually a change agent. Along with the business leader, we should envision digital ecosystem. He should anticipate the arrival of disruptive technologies, and he should ensure that tech strategy aligns with the overall company goals. But as you know, the company goals itself will be very dynamic as the ecosystem evolves and changes. Hence, we have to keep IT in a constantly innovative mode and develop core competencies that that can differentiate ourselves. And at the last but not the least, we should integrate and we should not actually just build the systems. Okay. So with this, I put my presentation to the end and place myself for questions from the participants on what should be the CTO roles in digital transformation. Back to you, Subramanian.
Wonderful, wonderful presentation, Mr. Vijay. So I think you touched upon the Kodak story, the reality of CTOs, the iPhone story. All of these are relevant even today. And I think I like the last part where you mentioned CTO as the change agent. So when you say change agent, do you also think that CIOs and CTOs have a role of mentoring to play for the business leaders?
In fact, they have a very key role, and that mentorship and the level of mentorship required actually depends on the maturity within the management team itself. Right? There may be situations where the CTO CEO actually takes the lead mentor role, or there might be situations where he's actually if the maturity within the organization's management team itself is so good that they as a team they are able to envision this that the digital transformation and the disruption that is happening, then he becomes a participant in this whole role itself. So that specifically depends upon where this organization is there in terms of the transformation journey itself, because many organizations they may not have started this as a formal digital transformation exercise, but they might have actually done a couple of things which actually falls under the purview of digital transformation. So where they are currently and how the management team is constituted, that actually decides whether he takes a lead mentor role or he's a participant in the mentorship team itself.
Sure. So there are a couple of questions that has come up from the participants. I will pick a few of them. One question is, it's from Nagesha Nayak. There are lots of open source softwares available which are cheaper compared to licensed and royalty paying softwares, but some compatibility measures and awareness needed, which will save lots of investments in IT software area. Any such strategies exist in India?
You see, basically, I am a very good proponent of open source. Not that I don't like licensed software. So, see, the difference between the advantage in an open source is a community that works, and this community works for the community itself, right? So, compared to a licensed software, the open source evolves very faster. Of course, that's the reason you can see lots of open source software is being actually supported by big enterprises itself, because the learning is very fast. But the most important part in an open source as a licensed software is when you have a problem, to whom you reach. So if you have a licensed software from Microsoft, I can contact Microsoft support versus putting up a query in a distribution list and waiting for somebody to respond back. Right? That's the key difference. And if you're able to create that technology capable teams inside, I think open source is something that is viable, that can be used within organizations.
Then there's a question who has not named himself or herself. What's next after digital transformation?
I think there is no next step of digital transformation. It's digital transformation itself is an ongoing journey. As I said, no one S-curve completes, another S-curve will start. Right. So though we may not be calling it digital transformation, we have been doing it earlier, and we are doing it now, calling it digital transformation. We'll be doing the same in the future, but maybe we'll be calling it a different name because the management funda keeps changing.
Next question again from Anonymous. Is it people or tech or both? Which is the challenging part to implement? And
it's a combination of both, right?
No, I mean, the question is, which part is more challenging? Is it people or tech?
I think the people is more challenging, because if you have the right people, the right technology will come in. But getting the right people and having the people with the right mindset and right cultural combination is very important, because then in people process technology, process is the pivot, but people is the core, because if you have the right people, they'll put the right process and bring the right technology for you.
So here is a question in relation to the pandemic situation. Even with digital disruption and pandemic situation continues, the credibility of the print media still remains on the mast. What the digital ecosystem to follow to make a change in this? So the question is, how is the digital disruption going to help us in this pandemic situation?
Actually, if you see, if you look at in the digital media, I think the pandemic situation has accelerated the need for digital transformation, because now whether you are taking this digital transformation as a strategic exercise or you're doing a knee-jerk reaction because the pandemic has struck and you have no other option that I have to go everything and put it online, right? So this pandemic has accelerated the need, but we should not go into a knee-jerk mode. We should be actually looking at it at a strategic manner, because you're creating the foundation for the future, right? So this transformation, I think this pandemic is actually a very learning point for us, right?
True, true. There is a similar question from Swamantak Roy. How we will face this digital transformation in COVID-19 situation? I think we more or less answered that. Let me go to another question. So see, in our daily life, if you look at, we have moved quite fast over the last 6 months. So be it video call, online learning, online groceries, online schools, these are quite commonplace now. But on the enterprise side, do you think we have done enough on the digital transformation side? What is your take on that?
I think if you take the Indian context, except for a few industry segments, I think many segments lack the initiative in digital transformation. We are still in the old IT automation mode. We have to come out from this automation mode to the transformation mode itself. That's what I feel in the Indian context. But might be certain industries had gone forward, industries which are primarily tech-based, and I think they had no choice. That, as I said, no, they may not have formally launched the digital transformation program, but the way their technology, what they use, evolved, they actually were forced to go through this transformation itself. But in majority, I think we are still in the IT automation mode. We have to move to the transformation mode.
True, true. So there's a question from Ajinka Gokhale. How CTO will help newspaper industry to gain advertiser and readership confidence? That's a loaded one. So
okay, so I think the CTO does not have a from the on the advertisers side. It's primarily about how you quantitatively prove your reach, right? If so that is where normally the problem comes, whether it's online digital advertising or advertising that's on paper. So we can use technology to quantitatively show what is the reach of an advertisement. So that I think to that extent, CTO can actually help on the from the advertiser side. But on the other aspect, I think it's primarily editorial that has to take the onus and ownership. The CTO is primarily a technology enabler there, right? It does not have much role on that front actually.
Right. So there is a question from Edward. If I translate it in a different way, so is this technology having a education barrier? So people who are educated enough are going to use this technology, and rest are going to depend on print media. Is that a scenario?
And it's an yes or no answer for that, Shubham, because if you look at news as a media, the way it reaches people today, it's like Android phones. Anybody has an Android phone can actually see news online, right? And I think majority of the people had the old brick phones, which was only text-based. Very few people now have. So Android has become the very basics. So as long as you are able to read, that means the only, even in print, if I cannot read, means I cannot even read a newspaper. As long as you're able to read in your native language or English, both your native language newspaper and English can reach you on your mobile phones today. So that challenge won't be there, and with the rising education rate in the country, I think that the gap will also get fixed very soon.
Sure. I think we are almost closer to the program. Moderator, do you think this is the time to close? Prabhu?
Hi. Actually, we have a couple of minutes. We have 3 minutes. Yeah, if you have a couple of questions, maybe one or two questions max. Yeah, max 3 minutes.
Okay, fantastic. So there are majorly two schools of thoughts if we see about digital transformation. One says that you gradually improve on the current models of business and improve upon that, and then slowly that leads to a digital transformation. And the other school of thought says that discard whatever is currently, disrupt it, and get into a new model. So what is your take on that?
I think within a company, I think you may have to do both in different areas of the company. Might be there is certain area where you disrupt, close everything what you have, start afresh. And might be there are certain places where you do a continual improvement. That again, as I said, no, depends upon where you are in terms of your IT automation agenda. If you're towards the maturity end of the IT automation agenda, you can do a gradual transformation. But if you're on a lower side of the IT automation agenda, you need to do a disruptive transformation. So within the company itself, I think it may have to be handled differently across departments based on where they are today.
Sure. I don't think we have any other question as of now. So Prabhu, we are good to go.
Yeah, please.
Thank you,
That's fine.
team,
Yeah.
and thanks
Yeah,
everyone.
we can close it.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
for
Kumar, and thanks everybody.
taking the
Thanks all
questions.
participants.
Yeah, thanks a lot, both of you. I think it was again another wonderful session. Yes, we'll wind off here and we'll join in the print awards. Maybe that will start about 11:40. So all of you, all the audience, please go back to the timeline and then join us for the print awards. That's for best in print in CPC. Join us at 11:40, please. Thank you.